Hey guys, so today we are in Nagasaki and we're going to be visiting a lot of different places. Nagasaki is one of the places that was open during Japan's isolation of over 200 years. Let's go.
Hi, my name is Bettina, but you can call me Awk, short for Awkventurer. This is my first time going on a cruise with my family, and I'm excited to share my first cruise experiences with you all. So let's eat good food, go on exciting excursions, and explore the seas and new places. All aboard the Princess Diamond 9-day cruise departing from Japan.
Good morning! We're going to Nagasaki. This is day 7 out of 9, I think. Early start. It's a beautiful day, no wind, not super cold today. So yeah, we're gonna go start the tour.
When pulling in the Nagasaki dock, I noticed that there was a welcome home banner. I soon learned that the Diamond Princess ship was the first princess cruise ship built in a Japanese shipyard here in Nagasaki in 2004. Nagasaki translates to Long Cape, and its main industry is actually shipbuilding. We'll learn more about its rich history and port used for trade with the Portuguese and Dutch during the 16th to 19th centuries later in this video when we visit Dejima, the artificial island off Nagasaki.
So we're starting at the Peace Museum in Nagasaki, and then we're gonna go get lunch. But yeah, I actually didn't know that the bomb went off 500 meters above the ground and not on the ground, so it only took 2 weeks for the air to kind of clear up, and everything was half-life. Yeah, it's still really sad. We are in the Memorial Peace Museum, and there's some graphic images. I really want to do my best to inform you guys and share it with you because I think it's a really important piece of history. And sometimes when you travel, you have to learn about the places even though it's not super happy. So yeah, if you guys are sensitive or don't want to see it, I put the timestamps down below so that you guys can skip it. But yeah, I hope you guys learn and kind of go through it with me together. So the dates, it's like we're going back in time. This is 1985, and then coming up is 1980. It's 150 meters long of cranes.
Compared to the Hiroshima Bomb Museum, which can be seen in this cruise series, this was much smaller and also gave more background on the science of the atomic bomb and historical events leading up to it. The museum showed images of the blast, melted debris, and relics. It even had a replica of the remaining wall from Urakami Cathedral, which was once the largest church in the Orient. The blackened portions were a result from the flash of heat and fires from the atomic bomb explosion. We will later see the cathedral as it is today. While Hiroshima received the bomb named Little Boy, a lot of people may be unaware that Nagasaki was originally the third city choice to receive the bomb named Fat Man.
So Kokura was supposed to be the first place in Kitakyushu, but they changed it, so this is the timeline of what happened. Let's go through it. It's really sad every single time.
On September 1944, it is agreed by US President Franklin D. Roosevelt and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill that the atomic bomb should be used against Japan. April 1945, 17 Japanese candidate cities are selected for the atomic bombings. In May, the list narrows down to 4 candidate cities: Kyoto, Hiroshima, Yokohama, and Kokura. 20 days later, Kyoto is removed from the list due to the fear it would make Japanese rally rather than surrender because of how important a cultural capital Kyoto is. And on the 31st of May, the interim committee decides Japan will not be receiving any prior warning. On July 16th, the first atomic bomb is successfully exploded in a New Mexico desert, and the next day, the Potsdam Conference, which is when negotiating terms for the end of World War II begins, and a petition by Leo Szilard protesting the use of the bomb signed by about 69 scientists is made. On August 9th at 2:49 a.m., the bomber circles around the original target of Kokura 3 times, but due to smoke cover, changes course for Nagasaki. At 10:58 a.m., cloud visibility over Nagasaki is poor and considers returning to the base because of dwindling fuel. However, at 11:02 a.m., the clouds break briefly and the atomic bomb is released over the city.
So this one was called the Fat Man because of the shape. It was like 3.25 meters in length, 1.52 in diameter, and 4.5 tons, with an equivalent to 21 kilotons of TNT for the explosive force. And it's quite big. I guess this is what it looks like in the inside with the plutonium, tamper, slow explosive. Whoa, it's like really devastating. So it's 500 meters above the ground.
The Fat Man, which was dropped in Nagasaki, was a plutonium implosion-style weapon, making it more powerful than the Little Boy, which was a uranium gun-type weapon dropped in Hiroshima, but both equally devastating. The bomb had killed an estimated 74,000 in Nagasaki, but even then the people had to endure the deadly side effects that followed from the radiation, such as leukemia. I found that the Nagasaki Museum showed more explicit photographs and artifacts. I learned about Dr. Takashi Nagai, a Catholic doctor specializing in radiology, whose works of books were showcased, and how he died as an atomic bomb and peace activist who played a huge role in the restoration of Nagasaki.
This is Dr. Takashi Nagai, who's considered a hero in Nagasaki because he exposed himself to help so many people. His wife died, and then he ended up dying a few years after. So they're showing the history of the development of the nuclear bomb, and it's really complicated. It's really sad.
If you stayed during that, thank you for learning and going through a little bit of the devastating but important history with me.
Alright guys, so we finished the museum, and I hope I did my best to show respect and to kind of help share about it and everything. Yeah, so we're gonna go to the next spot. It's a beautiful day. There's no more cherry blossoms, unfortunately, but I'm happy we finally get sun. We are in the Peace Park right now. We just finished going to the museum. It's really close by to the ground zero. He's pointing up to the sky because he's saying that the threat is up there, so that's what it means. So Nagasaki was also the start of modernization in Japan. This is kind of near the Peace Park. There's a bell that also rings every 11:02, or the 2 of the hour. So this one says it's about a girl who's very young, and she's saying that she's thirsty, but she has no choice but to drink the dirty water. So that's written by her, and then in the back you can see the statue here. So it's actually my first time in Nagasaki, and it is beautiful. My friends actually invited me to come here before Tom came, but I didn't go. So we're on a tour again. This is why I don't travel on tour. The only good thing about it is you can literally get a ride, and I don't think there's as many trains here as there are in Tokyo and everything, so it's just more convenient. But I usually take so much more time going around and reading everything, but that's okay. So this is ground zero right here behind me, and then we're gonna go towards the pillars. But do you guys remember when we were in the museum, Urakami Cathedral, which was one of the biggest at that time in Southeast Asia, one of the biggest ones, was destroyed except for those 2 pillars. So the ones that we saw in the museum were just replications, but those are the original ones. So we're gonna go check them out and go closer. There's a plaque here of everyone who survived from the atomic bomb. So there's different groups like doctors, direct survivors, indirect, and so there's a number at the bottom, so they put the names and the number here and update it every year.
Nagasaki Peace Park is built on a low hill to the north of the hypocenter of the atomic bomb blast. The city was left in ruins, and all plant life in the 2.5-kilometer radius of the hypocenter were destroyed. People said no plants would grow for the next 75 years, but as a sign of resilience and the power of revival and strength, 30 kinds of plants started to grow again.
So this is a statue here. This is the goddess of mercy, and the baby represents Japan, and the goddess represents all the countries that supported Japan throughout this time, and it's August 9th, 1945 at 11:02, 3 hours after the bomb in Hiroshima went down. So there's a lot of different statues and artworks. They're actually donated by different places. So the sister city, or the donated, the one that I just showed you guys, was in the St. Paul of Minnesota. So that's the sister city of Nagasaki, and their flower, I can't remember which flower theirs is, but the one in Nagasaki is the hydrangea. So you can see the motifs of hydrangea all over on like their manholes and everything.
We soon took the bus to a hotel restaurant overlooking the city with such a beautiful view.
We have shabu shabu. Everything is super small. I am so hungry. I don't think it's enough. I'm gonna eat so much more later. But we got a Coca-Cola.
Nagasaki was the most packed day after Busan, but it may have been my most favorite out of all the excursions. The vibe in Nagasaki was just really calm and beautiful. Next, we went to Dejima, the artificial island where Dutch traders were confined during Japan's era of international isolation.
So we finished lunch. I'm actually full. It was actually more than I thought, which is good. The view going down on the bus is so beautiful. It's really, really so nice. We're gonna go to Dejima, which used to be an artificial island, but got reclaimed in the 20th century. So we are in Dejima Island now. We used to be an island. So this is where the boats would come in here. And then there would be a samurai checking in who's coming in, coming out, making sure there are no spies. So a lot of the buildings here, because of the Dutch influence, have kind of a green window because they segregated the Dutch and the Japanese. So it was actually the only port open during that time when Japan was isolated, and they only allowed trade with, I believe it was Holland and China. So they traded with the Dutch because in order to increase Japan's trading partners outside of Portuguese ships, they allowed contact to be made with the Dutch. That's why it says Holland right here. In the Netherlands, there's a lot of numerous companies in trade with Asia. So we are on the bridge going into Dejima right now. So fun fact, Nagasaki actually has the highest population of Christians. It's the most Christianized area in Japan. It's really pretty. So yeah, you can see it's really small. It was like the port when Japan was closed.
Dejima translates to exit island. When you enter inside, you'll be transported to Edo architecture sprinkled with some European architecture, including a Christian seminary, several residences, warehouses, and traditional shops. It was super cool seeing the exchange of information such as Eastern and Western technology and medicine, such as in books and writings that were displayed.
So there's very few of these kind of warehouses in Japan today, but this was called a tulip warehouse by the Dutch, where they imported and put things like sugar and sapwood inside. Yeah, it looks like this. So here they actually imported a lot of sugar because sugar can't be produced in Japan. Back then, Okinawa, which they got sugar from, was called the Ryukyu Kingdom. They had to get it imported into Japan. So the reason why the Portuguese people had to stay here and they were segregated from the Japanese people is also because they wanted to stop the spread of Christianity. So they saw other countries like the Philippines where they came and then the whole country kind of became Christian. So they wanted to put a stop to that. So that was one of the reasons why they decided to keep them there. But then the next year there was like a rebellion and they were banned from coming into Japan.
I made a 5 interesting facts about Nagasaki YouTube short, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow my Instagram so you don't miss anything and you can keep up with all the adventures.
We are now going to Glover Garden. So we're going up a hill. There's a castle which is famous in Nagasaki, and Ura Cathedral, which I've always talked about before to students before when I used to teach. So I get to finally go after talking about it so much. The Ura Cathedral, which I'll show you guys later. It's on the escalator, and it's a beautiful view over here. Woo. We're taking the escalator now. We had some free time after, but the Ura Cathedral is a UNESCO World Heritage and National Treasure of Japan because the church itself was kind of a symbol of a miracle for people who had the same faith, kind of for the hidden Christians, when a French priest came over after Japan's isolation ended, and then he, in Chinese characters, he put his religion, I think it was like Christianity or something, in Chinese characters, and from the Urikami area near Ground Zero, people came and told him that they had the same faith, and then he went and told the Pope, and they kind of thought it was like a miracle. So it is, yeah, a UNESCO World Heritage, and it is facing towards a hill where there's 26 martyrs that died because of their faith. I think it was Mexican, Portuguese, and a few others, Chinese. But yeah, it's a beautiful day. Definitely check it out if you're in Nagasaki. Worth visiting for sure. This is Glover Garden, and this was actually a mansion. Scottish man came here and then settled here, and this is Glover Garden. It's a really beautiful place. There's like gardens everywhere. It's at the top of the hill, but there are escalators after the first few stairs. Definitely come here. It's like a 5-minute walk from the station.
The Glover House is the oldest wooden Western-style building in Japan. Thomas Glover, the Scottish merchant, assisted some revolutionaries who'd eventually overthrow the Tokugawa shogunate in the Meiji Restoration.
This beautiful house, the Glover House. This is a really nice garden area. I'd love to have a house with an area like this. The tiles is pretty cool for this building, and then far off you can see the Princess Diamond cruise ship. They put all the flags on the top. It's like, I love Nagasaki, all the things are in the hills and it's so pretty. There's our boat. It's so big and beautiful. Fun fact, yeah, it was actually built here. The Sapphire and the Diamond were built in Nagasaki. So yeah, that's why in the beginning when we come out it says welcome home, because it was built here. So it's like okaeri nasai in Japanese. So yeah. So we're about to board, and I did it. I bargained for the first time in Japanese. I told my mom bought this beautiful like 18 karat gold pearl bracelet, and I was like, oh, you know, so I live in Kanagawa, I'm bringing them for the first time, I'm in Yamatoshi, Kanagawa, and he's like, oh, that's where I am from too. And then they did like a huge discount. Thank you. They did a huge discount and bargain, and he accepted it. I can't believe it. Like, I was asking him, and I'm like, is it okay and everything, and it was our first time. I did it. It's not mine, it's from my mom, but I'm proud of myself. And he's like, your Japanese is really good. I'm like, no, but thank you. Yeah. This is the farewell. I'm actually here. Good to see and say good, wave goodbye to everybody.
Make sure to follow me on Twitch and to follow the Awkventurer TV account on YouTube to watch the live stream VOD that evening.
Farewell, so cute. You can hear them still waving. And the farewell seeing up, so cute. They're still waiting with the sign. And that's the pilot saying, or the captain saying bye.
As always, thank you so much to my monthly coffee supporters, Derek Snow, KingFluffy83, TomSkirrett, Oh My Goshva, KurtizeEryck, KamaSamaK, and MyneighborOotoro. Thank you guys for supporting me in my dreams. A special shout out as well to Oh My Goshva, who is officially my first YouTube member. Thank you so much for enjoying and supporting my YouTube videos. If you want to have early access to my YouTube videos and other YouTube membership perks, make sure to check it out on my channel. The community comment goes to OrangutanCon2131, aka Connor. Thanks so much for always supporting me in all things and believing in me even when I don't. You tell me I'm the brains and brawn of our zombie team, but you've got the biggest heart I've ever met in anyone, and that's the most beautiful thing. This is the last Princess Diamond 9-day cruise excursion, so to everyone who has stuck around and watched the whole series, I just want to say thank you so much.
It's so pretty, it's so magical. It's like one of these moments I'm so grateful that I get to experience, and I'm so happy I got to share a little bit with you guys. And I think life is hard, but then there are moments like this that make me like be very thankful. So, yeah.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.